Hello and welcome to Brighton-Box Stadium in Middleton, home of three, that's right, not one, not two, but three WIAA state semifinal football games here this weekend. I'm Rob Hernandez, he's Dennis Semrau. We welcome you to Prep Rally, our special Level 4 state semifinal edition. And Dennis, they built Brighton-Box for a reason. They're going to get a heavy workout this weekend. Division 7 on Friday night, Division 5 and then 6 on Saturday afternoon. A lot of good games locally, but all of our bigger school teams, they're heading down to Milwaukee area for some pretty big games.
Yeah, road trip. Well, we had a possibility of having a doubleheader at Kettle Moraine, and that was changed. Wanakee now Division 2 is going to be playing at Wisconsin Lutheran College at 2 o'clock, same time as Mount Horeb Barneveld. This is the time you wish you could clone yourselves, isn't it, Rob?
It sure is. Dennis, let's start with that Wanakee game. The three-time defending state champions, 47 wins in a row, going for a share of the longest winning streak in state history, joining Manitowoc. They get to do it on, as you mentioned, on Saturday against a good Whitefish Bay team out of a very good North Shore Conference.
Yes, and this is last week Watertown, high octane passing attack. Wanakee shut it down and rushed for almost 400 yards, 1 yard shy. The stat guy could have probably fudged it a little bit, but 6 touchdowns rushing, 399 yards, and outstanding defensive effort as well.
What's the challenge this week for the Warriors? What does Whitefish Bay bring to the football field?
Kind of a consistent team, a lot of defense. They've had 5 shutouts this year, a consistent running game, and it's a kind of team that's got a lot of athletic ability, and this is probably the best team that Wanakee's going to see all year, as it should be in Division Level 4.
Interesting matchup too, Dennis, because the conferences for both these schools very well represented yet in the playoffs. The winner of this Wanakee Whitefish Bay game could see a rival of Whitefish Bay, Mequon Homestead, in the state finals. Likewise, Wanakee could be taking the field next week at Camp Randall right after Mount Horeb Barneveld, as you mentioned, still alive in Division 3. It tells you that these teams come into the Saturday's game, Wanakee Whitefish Bay, well schooled.
Yeah, definitely. When you have a conference that's as tough as these two are, I mean, it really prepares you, and you see a lot of different things during the season. You look at the types of offenses and defenses, and both teams are battle tested. Dennis,
let's go to Division 1, where the Sun Prairie Cardinals out of the Big 8 Conference, fresh off their 34-6 win over Verona in that showdown game last week at Ashley Field. They hit the road for Heartland Arrowhead High School Friday at 7 against Lake Geneva Badger, a team that they're familiar with because they beat them, although very close, in a close ball game in Level 1 a year ago.
It took a block kick a year ago, I believe, late, and you're looking at that 1-3 matchup, Arrowhead and Sun Prairie. You can't look past anybody when you get to this level. Maybe Lake Geneva Badger is a surprise, and Sun Prairie should be there, but they belong there.
The winner of that game faces the winner of Hudson and Heartland Arrowhead. Arrowhead going on the road to play Hudson up at Schofield DC Everest in the Division 1 title game. Will we have a state finalist from the Big 8? We shall see. Dennis, going back to Division 3, that Mount Horeb Barneveld game, they have Waukesha Catholic Memorial. Coach Bill Young closing in on 300 wins as a coach at Catholic Memorial. A great program in WISA, a great program since they've joined the WIAA, and yet another step that Mount Horeb Barneveld is going to have to take in the development of their program if they get a win here.
Hey, you look at who Mount Horeb Barneveld's had to play this year. They've had a very tough schedule, and last week was just an outstanding game against a Monona Grove team that a lot of people thought might be there at state last year and even this year, and they pretty much took them apart. We both were at that game, and they came out, they won the coin flip, said we want the ball, and right away they went down and scored and never lost the lead.
Another game Friday night in Division 4. Walworth Bigfoot looking real good. Won the Battle of Unbeatens decisively over Lakeside Lutheran last week, 52-17. They've got the Cinderella story of the tournament, the Freedom Irish, Freedom an 8 seed, coached by former NFL player Clint Krewald. They play that game Friday night at 7 o'clock at West Bend. Can Walworth Bigfoot beat the Cinderella?
Well, from what I understand, not only is there a Mason Dixon, but there's a younger Dixon who looks a lot like his brother. I heard people were complaining about running up the score. No, wait a minute, that's little brother. So there's another one coming. Yeah, and what Coach Wettig has done is just outstanding. They've got a very tough, tenacious team on defense, and they run the ball very well. They are loaded for the state tournament.
Talk about two teams that are loaded. They'll meet right here at 1 o'clock at Brighton-Box Stadium on Saturday. The Lancaster Flying Arrows, last year's state runners-up, taking on the Brillion Lions in a 1 o'clock game. Brillions had a great run as well as Lancaster, but Lancaster coming off that state championship game, double overtime loss to Colby last year. A team on a mission, and they get to come here to the carpet where their speed ought to be pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's the one advantage. You're going to be playing. If you're playing at Camp Randall, you have the carpet. If you can get a team like that on here in the sectional finals, as we call this, or the state semifinals. I mean, it's definitely an advantage, and that's one reason why I think Awanakee would have liked to have been here, or Mount Horeb-Barneveld, be playing on a turf.
Southwest part of the state will be well represented here at Breitenbach Stadium on Saturday, as Iowa Grant will follow Lancaster at 4:30 p.m. The Panthers will take on Fond du Lac St. Mary's Springs and Coach Bob Hyland. The Panthers coming off a win against Swall rival Darlington last week. Again, on paper, Iowa Grant, the team that kind of has to climb the mountain in Fond du Lac Springs.
Yeah, Springs is a team that normally 2 platoons, and they've been outstanding through the years. We saw them last year, and as soon as they left the field, we thought we'd see them back at Camp Randall again. And Iowa Grant, though, they're there, and all you ask is the opportunity. In a lot of cases, this semifinal game, this is the toughest one. Once you get to Camp Randall, you're going to get some hardware. So just getting that last hump, this is the big one for Iowa Grant.
Unfortunately for Iowa Grant, they are the flying under the radar in this Division 6 field. Other side of the bracket, 2 heavyweights, Eau Claire Regis and Edgar, will meet Friday night at Chippewa Falls. That ought to be a good game as well. Dennis, it all gets started here at Breitenbach Stadium on Friday night at 7 o'clock. 2 area teams meeting in the Division 7 state semifinals. The Potosi Chieftains against the Randolph Rockets. I've seen Potosi play. They're very fast and even faster on turf. Randolph also, but I think the one common denominator you can make between all these teams still left in the postseason: good speed, great size. They can move people around, and if they get space, they can make the most of it.
Yeah, the one thing, Randolph's known for basketball, so I'm sure a lot of the basketball fans are saying, keep them playing football as long as you can, keep them off the hard court. But that athletic ability is translated, and when you look at the smaller divisions, those are the multiple sport athletes, the athletes that have to be out. So we're going to see some great kids this weekend.
Definitely, and we'll have all the action for you on WisconsinPrepZone.com. Again, our game of the week on WisconsinPrepZone.com will be that Wanakee Whitefish Bay game Saturday afternoon at Wisconsin Lutheran College, 2 o'clock kickoff. You can check for highlights and post-game reaction from Todd Milewski after the ball game on Saturday. And meanwhile, we'll have live blogs going all weekend long, and as well as coverage of the WIA State girls swim meets on WisconsinPrepZone.com. So we're not done with the fall yet, folks. We encourage you to follow along as we take you one step closer to the state finals at Camp Randall next week. For Dennis Semrau, I'm Rob Hernandez. Thanks for watching Prep Rally. We'll see you at the stadium.